Hey friends, welcome to You, Me, and Them, your new bi-weekly podcast that dives into the complexities of romance, relationships, and reality. We are your hosts, Jasmine and
I'm Vivian.
So get ready to challenge the norms, some new perspectives, and embrace the many curveballs that life throws at us.
So what can you expect when you're tuned into our show? As we dive into all types of topics, expect to open your mind and hear from a myriad of different perspectives. It won't just be Jasmine and I yapping at you. We will be joined by an exciting lineup of guests, some that think the same, some that think differently, and some that will just teach us things that we've never learned along our own journeys. I'm excited to share in this journey of real love, real life, and sometimes very real tears.
Mainly mine.
You're not wrong.
So why should you listen to us? Why are we different, and what value do we bring? Well, I don't have a great reason other than we're kind of cool. Like, I really love us. But we actually really do love each other. Like, we really, really do like each other. And I think we offer a lot of authentic conversations and different perspectives. So we're both constantly learning from one another. I'm learning mainly from her. And I think that you would just love to hear us more than I love to hear us.
But on a serious note, everything she said is true. We're just amazing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. The way Jasmine and I have learned to continually communicate our needs has allowed for continued growth in our relationship, which will always be the ultimate goal for us. And our general intrigue and enjoyment of getting to know people, how they think, and understanding different perspectives has put us into some really intriguing conversations that I think you guys would be interested in hearing about too. We'll cover a number of topics, but one that really resonates with us is how you show up for your partner every day.
Now, since you guys are going to be spending some time with us every 2 weeks, why don't we give you guys a little insight and background on who the heck we are and why we matter. So my name is Jasmine. I call myself a true Seattle native. I'm born and raised here. I grew up specifically in West Seattle, and I wear that with so much pride. I grew up dancing. I have a love for musical theater, music, animals, sloth specifically, and I love my girlfriend. But other than that, I come from a really big family, a lot of dysfunction in that family. So learning to navigate healthy relationships and dynamics and things like that have been a challenge and something that I'm constantly growing and learning to do.
Wow, that was great.
Take it away, babe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now that you know a little bit about my lovely partner, my name is Vivian. I am also from Seattle, though not a true Seattleite by her standards. That's okay. They still love me in the city. You feel me?
They do.
But yeah, I'm from Seattle, 36 years old, former Division I basketball player at Gonzaga University, former professional basketball player, former basketball coach. I am now currently a program manager at a tech company. I'm doing some really cool stuff. Also an entrepreneur. So also an entrepreneur.
That's why I jumped in. You talk about yourself and your interests so much better than I do.
No, I thought you did really good.
Okay, but I didn't I like to do makeup. I do makeup. I'm also a makeup artist and entrepreneur. These are things that also are true to me.
Do you want to go again?
You're just so much better at talking about yourself. No, I think that was great.
Okay, all right.
I think that was great.
Yeah, I'm also an entrepreneur. I grew up with a single mom. There's 4 of us. We're a wild and crazy family, but by and large, we made it out of our circumstance. And I'm proud of my siblings and myself with where we've made ourselves and what we've made of ourselves. Other things about me, I love burnt orange and emerald green. It's a callback. So when I got called a cheater on Cut. Literally because those were my favorite colors.
Yep. You sound like a cheater.
Thanks, Sebastian. I have a dog named Stanley and also a cat by relationship named Kitty.
We have a beautiful cat and dog together. Those are our babies.
Those are our babies. I'm also polyamorous. and navigating that with my partner, who I now wish to spend my life with, when I thought before this relationship I would never want to marry anybody. So yeah, there's a lot that's gone on and a lot of constant and continual conversation that's happened between us to realize, maybe what we wanted when we first entered our relationship is different from where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of growth over 2 years.
Yeah, seriously.
A lot of growth.
Well, now that we've gone ahead and give you guys a little bit of background into us, we should probably tell you guys like how we met, how we even ended up together. And I am going to let Vivian take this because she loves to tell this story anyways.
Because I tell the truth.
She likes to embellish a little bit, make herself sound like this amazing person and that I was just too good for her. That's not what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
But this is going to let you guys know how we met, how we came to be. And I'm going to interject and step in where I need to. If things get a little out of control and you start lying on me, I'm going to jump in.
Anyways, the true version of events are that I was working at a market. So I used to sell plants. Shout out Seeds and Stees. Among other things. But anyways, sorry, already getting off track. I used to sell plants and I was at a market in Tacoma. For those of you who don't know, that's 20 minutes, 30 minutes south of Seattle. After the market, there was also what would you call it? A day party?
It was supposed to be like a day party.
A day party.
Yeah.
Hosted by one of our mutual friends. Also at the time, she was roommates with a mutual friend that we have. We actually have a lot of mutual friends, so it's really surprising that we had never met each other before.
Paths, literally.
But yeah, so I go up to this event and I'm saying hello to all the people that I know, and I see her with our mutual friend Ani, and I go to say hi to her. I'm trying to play it cool, but I mean, look at her. I saw her and I was like, God damn, it's crazy. I of course I was shook, but got to play it cool, whatever. So we walk out. I'm doing my thing, whatever. The event ends. My friend Ani is like, oh, I want to see what plants you have on my wall for the house. And I'm like, okay, cool, bet. She walks down as well. So we're all kind of, small talk, whatever. I open my van, hella plants in there.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's covered in little plants. It's so green and luscious. And I was like, okay, well, this is the perfect backdrop for a photo shoot. So naturally, I take photos in the back of her van.
Yes, literally takes photos in the back of the van. Great, love it, whatever. So then, as we're leaving, there's an after party to this day party. Great, cool, whatever. Ani, Jasmine, you guys come in? Oh, yeah, I'll let you know. I know Ani. I didn't know her, right? But I knew Ani, and I knew that she was full of shit. So as soon as they leave, 10 minutes later, I call and I'm like, yo, are you guys coming? And she's like, oh, no, we're not going to come. And I'm like, come on. You got to bring my future girlfriend, whatever, right? I find out months later, we're locked in at this point.
Okay.
Months later, I find out in this same conversation, Ani's like, oh, Vivian said you're her future girlfriend, whatever. And she turns around and says, who's Vivian? I'm not memorable. It was fucking crazy.
Listen, and it wasn't even really like that. How sometimes people be asking about you and you're like, oh, who's that? Whatever. I knew who Vivian was. I just met her, but
no, she didn't.
This is where she likes to lie on me, but she's not wrong. I definitely was kind of dismissive. Who? Who are you talking about?
Kind of is crazy. Anyways, so, the week kind of passes. In that week, she posts a picture of the back that she took in the back of the van. Mm-hmm. We end up following each other. Ani, of course, sends me the pictures that she took in my DM. So I go follow her from those and like them, whatever. But we don't really interact other than that.
Nope.
The next week, we both end up at a casting call.
The same casting call.
The same casting call.
Literally a week after we originally met.
And I'm excited to see her, of course. But I also know that, I'm me. So, I play it cool and, all this. But, I'm really a big fucking nerd. So, it's I'm going to talk to you. But I'm not going to, oh, what's up, Shotty?
Yeah.
What's up, girl? You know, that's just not me.
And it was really cute because like she was really in her like content creation bag at this time. So like she was getting all kinds of footage and videos of like things just to like put on her story. And I think this was like another excuse for you to like talk to me or just like have a reason to like interact with me. But we're waiting in the hallway for this casting call, Ani and I. And she's like, oh, hey, well, Vivian comes in. She's like, oh, hey, well, can I get you guys like in my video for my like, get some video of you for my reel, like, or whatever, you know? And in hindsight, knowing you now, I was like, oh, this is all a game of chess. Like, she knew what she was doing.
She was in 2 videos of mine before we ever even went on a date. I just had to capture how fine she was. You feel me? Like, I couldn't let it go.
Stop.
I couldn't let it go. But anyways, from there, you know, Ani, if you know Ani, you know, if you don't, you'll probably get to know her. She'll probably come on this podcast at some point. But she was like, you know, Jasmine Scissors. That's her way of telling me that, like, she's into girls too. Right. You know, like, you're good. Like, do your thing. Shoot your shot. And I told her, like, no, I'm not going to slide in the DMs. You know, I'm a fucking nerd. Like, that's not going to go well, whatever. So, you know, the casting call happens. We part ways again. And, you know, that for me, I'm like, okay, well, it didn't happen. It's probably not going to happen, whatever. Okay. But we're following each other now. I post something. She slides in my DMs. You feel me?
Okay.
As she should. And yeah, the rest is pretty much history.
Yeah.
I mean, I think her and I were both on a similar type of time when she slid in my DMs, because I think the post I posted was like, you deserve better head.
Oh, yeah. It was very inappropriate.
Yeah.
And I was going through a dry spell, like nobody's business. Knowing me.
Intentional, though.
Intentional. But I don't do that. I don't do dry spells if I don't have to. And I literally don't have to. But I did. So I was down really bad.
And yeah, she was like, or any head at all. And I was like, well, girl, I volunteer as tribute. Yep. Sign me the fuck up.
Yep.
But then I had to like reel it back in because like I was interested in her as much more than that. So,
she did. And I'll never forget this because you like to skip over this part, but she definitely, like after that whole, oh, I'll volunteer as tribute or whatever, she was definitely like hitting the road running, like, okay, well, let's get some drinks and then we can do whatever. Either I'm over at her house or whatever. And then that was when she like backtracked. I don't know if I responded or if you like, I think you might have double messaged and you were like, no, but for real, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I do want to set some time to take you out. Like, you definitely made sure to lay that intention out.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, it was cute or whatever. And it could have been what it could have been, but like, I like where we're at now. You know, I like the way this went.
Instead.
Yeah. It went in a much better direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rest is history. We went on a first date.
Yeah.
It was a really good first date. I took her to a mezcal bar. I don't drink mezcal, but she had mentioned that she does when we were like trying to figure out where to go.
Yep.
So that was great because she later found out that I did a mezcal tasting with her. Like, when I absolutely hate mezcal like, so much.
Not even that. Vivian doesn't even really like to drink in general. So knowing now and spending as much time with her now that I have, the fact that 1, you did a flight with me, period. But like 2, a smoky mezcal flight, which are like flavors that she just doesn't like at all. Yeah, no, you were down bad. She liked me.
I did. But I thought I ruined it on the first date.
No. Second date.
No, it was the first date.
No.
Yes, I remember sitting across from me at Sirenito. She said something. I don't remember what it was. And I responded. I really wish I could remember what we said, but I made a joke and it was about her grandma.
Yes.
And she was like laughing, he. Like, it was funny because, you know, she's also told me I'm the funniest person she's ever met. So, of course, she was laughing her ass off. But then she like stops. And it's like, yeah, my grandma just died. And I'm like, what?
No,
like, how? Like, why are you laughing? Like, why did you even bring up your grandma in the first place? Like, this is fucking crazy.
Like, our first date was in November and grandma passed that June. Like, it had only been a few months. And like, grandma was old. Grandma was on her way out. as, life happens. So like, I think that's also part of why I could haha about it. But no, she was tripping. She went on the internet about it. She was like, I think I just ruined my chances with this girl. Like, I made a joke about her dead grandma. Like, who does that?
And this was back when there was Twitter close friends,
Close friends. Yeah, exactly.
So Ani, again, was in this close friends, and just responded like laughing. And then she later responds and goes, I just got off with the phone with her. I think you're good.
Yeah. Because Ani was checking in with me, knowing her and her history. She was like, so how did it go? How were things? And yeah, I didn't mention anything about her laughing at my dead grandma. So
yeah.
Still made it out.
Still made it out.
Still made it out of the mud.
I fought for that shit, but we here now.
All right. Is there anything else that you feel like they need to know about how we met and how we came to be?
I will say this. Jasmine played really fucking hard to get.
What?
She played real hard to get. Like, I'm just like taking it slow. I'm not really dating. She was like taking fucking forever to text me back. I know you saw my text come in. I know you was looking. I know you were thinking about what you were going to say to me. And she was taking so long. Like at one point I had to be like, yo, like, I don't like how it feels like you're intentionally taking forever to text me or respond to me. Like, come on.
Okay. No, this can be like...
I'm all in. You should be too. Let's do this damn thing.
This could probably be a whole another like conversation about like, communication styles and things like that. Like we can totally dive into that. However, she's not wrong. And it's not even that I was playing hard to get. It's just, I had been doing things so wrong in all of my other like previous and past relationships and situations. So I, as someone who again, intentionally was like celibate and not really dating for like almost a year, I was like, let me approach this a little bit differently. Let me not be some needy, thirsty hoe. And instead inserts this needy, thirsty hoe. But no, it was like, I want to say after our second or third time, like on a date or hanging out, and she was driving me home and she literally was like, so do you like me? Or like, so do you like want to keep seeing me or what? And she was essentially just like, I need you to talk to me more. I need you to respond to me a little bit more. Like, I feel like she was definitely kind of like, what am I doing? What are we doing? She keeps saying yes to hanging out with me, but like, she's not talking to me. What is going on? So I understand that, but also like, she was coming in kind of hot and heavy. And like, it was a lot for me. So now that we've told you a little bit about ourselves, we're going to pivot for real this time. Change the conversation. And we're going to have a little bit of fun. So Vivian chose this exercise. Vivian's great at choosing exercises and all things that have to do with conversation and relationships and dating. She's really great. So she decided that we would do our top 3 favorite things about each other, as well as our top 3 relationship icks. And neither of us know what either of us said about each other. So I think this will be fun.
No relationships will be harmed in the making of this content.
Should we start with the icks so that we can end on like a sweet note?
Sure.
All right. Number 1.
Okay. So with these relationship icks, we were doing our top 3, but I'm not going to lie.
You have more than 3.
No, I was only able to come up with 1. And I say that because the only reason I was able to come up with 1 is because one ick leads to all the icks.
Oh, okay.
One ick is just like the ick, and then it's a ick umbrella underneath it. Everything's all tied to that one.
Okay.
And my biggest ick, you guys, is Jasmine's pettiness.
I am petty.
Jasmine can be so petty sometimes. It can lead to arguments because sometimes she just has to have the last word, or like she just has to respond. Don't. If this is my ick.
Pot calling the kettle black.
Stop. Look at you. You're improving the pettiness point right now. Just Put your hands down. Just ears open, mouth closed. Listen, Linda. Okay, so like I think the pettiness has resulted in miscommunications, frustrations. So I would say like my ick is just the pettiness in this relationship because I'm not petty unless I feel like somebody's being petty towards me. And then I'm like, boom. And I strike back fast like a viper. Like, I'll be petty too. Shit, let's do this. Petty Olympics. I'm in. Getting the gold medal too. Do you agree?
Okay.
You already agreed that you can be petty. But
I do agree that I can be petty for sure. However, I feel like sometimes I'm reacting to you.
Mm-hmm.
And like you being a little bit petty or just in general. I feel like we both like sometimes just say things that don't need to be said. Or like, you're definitely an antagonist sometimes.
Sometimes, but not to her.
I've seen her interact with her siblings and it's just like...
They're siblings, it's different.
Vivian, stop. Like,
it's
please.
Different. They're my family. I'm supposed to do that. 2 older brothers and a little sister. I'm supposed to antagonize both those motherfuckers. Like, come on.
Okay.
It's my job.
So you don't have any other icks, you sure?
I don't have any.
Okay. So I too feel like I struggled with finding more than one ick for you. So like I came up with 3 because you said to do 3.
That's the exercise. You did it right.
However, they're not like big or massive. Okay. So the first one that I wrote down was your messiness. And it's not even like you're disgusting or you're dirty. Like that's not at all what it is. But it's like, okay, you'll drive my car for a day. She'll have my car for the day. And I get back in my car and there's like trash in my car door or the water bottle that she was drinking in the cup holder, which is fine, but like it's not finished. And it'll still sit in that cup holder for days to come. And I won't say anything because it's like, oh, she often reuses her plastic water bottles. Like those are her water bottles. She doesn't have like a Stanley or a Yeti or whatever. She just uses those plastic water bottles. So I don't touch them. And yeah, it's just little stuff. It's just little stuff like that where it's like, girl, like, or gum wrappers? She likes to chew gum and she doesn't chew 1 piece at a time. She chews 2 pieces of gum at a time. And so again, they'll just be gum wrappers randomly all over the place. And it's just like, girl, are you okay? Just pick this up and throw it in the trash. Or like your car, I don't care. But I got in her car the other day and there was 3 water bottles in the passenger side. 2 of them were in the car door and 1 of them was on the floor. And all of them are half drank too. So it's like, did you forget that you had them before you opened another and then you got in your car and you were like, oh, that's where that other water bottle went?
They're not all mine. Like I pick up my niece regularly. Like she be not drinking her waters. She be acting like, oh, I'm so thirsty. Let me have a water right now. And then she don't drink it.
Because she wants juice or something.
Yeah, and then it's like, I do. Like all the garbage is going to be in the side door. But like I park right next to the garbage in the recycling bin. So when I get out, I could easily take it out. But sometimes it's just like,
So I do it instead.
Not always. But sometimes.
So that was it. That was like my number 1. My number 2 is her need to scare me. I hate it. It really...
Is this where I enter a montage of you getting scared?
Like, it's almost a sport for her. And we all know this. Like, okay, I'm someone who I'm a jumpy person. I'm easy to scare, which is why I think she enjoys it so much because she knows that I'm always gonna or jump.
9 times out of 10, I'm hitting that shit, baby.
Okay. But 9 times out of 10, I'm not in the mood to be scared or receive the jump. Sometimes I'm just, when you're vibing, minding your own business, living your life, and you're walking down the hallway and someone jumps out of the bathroom at you, like, why? And how long were you sitting there waiting to scare me? Like, it's frustrating. And it's always way more fun for the other person. Viv has so much fun doing this, and she gets such pleasure out of it. She's always giggling and smiling after it happens, and is like, oh, babe, come here. I'm sorry. And it's like, no, you're not, because you know what you're doing. You're not sorry.
It's one of my favorite things. I've always loved, like, you know, like in San Francisco, the Bushman. Like,
yes.
Like when we would play in San Francisco, me and Court, we would just literally like stop a couple feet away and like watch people get scared by the Bushman. Like, it's just funny as fuck. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I love watching people get scared. So if you guys also love watching people get scared and you want me to like share the video, I'll make a montage of all the times I've scared her. Not all.
It's so
but
many.
I have some.
So many.
Let me know.
And like,
let me know.
Vivian, she's hard to get. So sometimes I'll be so like vindicated. I'll be like, oh, she's pissed me off. You scared me one too many times this week. I'm going to get you back.
I'm going to get you.
And I don't. I get her. So every, like, again, 10 times that I might try to scare her, I'm probably scaring her 3 of those times.
Sounds about right.
And it's really satisfying
Maybe
when I do get her, because she's like, okay, you got me. You did get me, but it's rare. So yeah,
you finally did it.
That's an ick of mine. And then the last one, which is the most minute, because again, I struggled to even find these.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. I dislike your dislike of onions and mushrooms.
We eat so different, you guys. We eat so different.
And that's why, for me, that's an ick, because she's like vegan adjacent, and I eat pretty much any and everything.
Like,
there's very few things that I don't eat, but there's a lot of stuff that she doesn't eat. And when I find out that you add onions and mushrooms to the list of things that you don't eat, it really just broke my heart. It complicates things for me, because mushrooms are a big substitute in a lot of vegan and vegetarian dishes. And onions are in damn near everything.
It's a crutch.
And Vivian is great, because she's always like, you know, you don't have to eat the same thing that I do, or why don't you put it, you know, in your food or dish or whatever. You know how complicated it is and how annoying it is to cook the same meal for 2 people in 2 separate pans and still try to remember, okay, wait, is this the one that's got mushrooms in it, or is this the one that's got onions? Like, you know, it's easier often to just not have onions and mushrooms. So those are my 3 icks, my top 3 icks.
I would say those are mostly valid.
Mostly.
I mean, I was very straightforward. I think from the first date we went on, I think I probably was talking about how I couldn't eat much because there was onions and mushrooms and fucking everything I could eat. That's the problem with not liking mushrooms as a vegan adjacent person. It's in everything. They think, oh, you don't like me? Here, have every fucking type of mushroom under the sun. No, I don't want that shit either. It's disgusting.
It's just crazy to me, because onions, I get it. There's like what? Red onions, white onions, yellow onions. There's like shallots, whatever. Like chives,
leeks.
Yeah. You can get up to maybe, I'm just going to say 10, because I don't know every type of onion in the world. But mushrooms, there are so many different types of mushrooms in the world that you can eat and that are edible and that won't kill you or make you like high.
Yeah.
And she doesn't like any of them.
That's literally, I live in Washington, y'all. So like, they're like, oh, try this mushroom. No, you never had this. Yes, I have. I've tried all of them, because you're right. I would love to be able to just be like, oh yeah, let me eat a mushroom meat replacement. No, they're all terrible.
Yeah.
Every last one of them. I will eat a mushroom gravy. Like, I don't mind if it's like ground up, you know, but like if it's ground up and there's still like chunks, no, I'm not doing that.
Now that we've torn each other apart.
So now that you know how much my girlfriend hates me. No, I'm just kidding.
Please.
But anyways, now that we're done with our top 3 relationship icks, or 1 in my case, I think it'd be a good idea for us to kind of wrap up this episode talking about some of our favorite things about each other.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I agree.
All right. Why don't you start us off?
I get so nervous because, 1, I'm not great with my words, and vulnerability is sometimes hard for me.
That's true.
And I also cry really easily.
She does.
So I'm going to do my best to not get all mushy-gushy with all of this, but I'm going to start with my first one.
Okay.
Don't look at it.
I'm not looking.
My first one is your drive and your creativity.
Okay.
So you are one of the hardest working people that I know. And you are so talented in everything that you do. Like, one of the first dates we went on was an axe throwing date because why? Why did we do that? We did it. We had a great time. And Vivian was good at it. Inevitably, she was good at it. We went on a date sometime later with another person, went bowling. Vivian won because Vivian is just a great bowler. Like, there's nothing that she can't do. She starts a new like hobby, task, or something, she's immediately going to be good at it. Okay. But I love that about you, and I admire that very deeply. I do.
Thanks, baby.
And I believe that you can achieve anything that you put your mind to and that you work towards. And I've seen it so many times. So, yeah.
That's sweet.
I try. Okay, your turn.
Oh, we're going 1-1.
I think we should try.
Okay. All right. All right. The first thing that I put as one of my favorite things, and these are in no particular order. I'm not playing favorites of favorites here. They're just all favorites, and they're all very highly ranked. Okay. The first thing I would say is your outgoing nature. I love that you are like so willing to like talk to and meet anybody. I love that you're just like always so like upbeat and joyous, and you have this very like, we're alive, we should love it kind of vibe to you, you know? And I think that's like one of my favorite things, because when I get into my introverted spaces, it kind of pulls me out of that and reminds me like, you know, like there's a lot of joy in this world and in this life that we should be like looking on and clinging to.
I love that. Thank you.
I really appreciate that about you.
Good. I'm glad. I love that. It makes me feel happy. And we are alive. Like, come on. We only have, according to you, 30 more years. Vivian's dying before the age of 70.
We'll see.
Okay. My second favorite thing is your heart.
Boom.
Yes.
Yeah.
So your heart is so big, and the people that are loved by you are so lucky. Like, I've seen you prioritize others in like dire times of need or darkness. And I've seen you like orchestrate events and plan parties and things for those close to you. And the type of like detail and time and effort that goes into that, and just structuring those kinds of things. Like, a lot of love goes into that. There's things that you do because you need to, and there's things that you do because you want to. And your heart allows you to do all of these things because you want to do them for these people.
Yeah.
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 And your like loyalty, like you receive all of this back tenfold, you know, like you 100% get back what you give.
I agree. 100%. Yeah. I mean, I have great people in my life too. So I think that's one of the things that kind of enables me to like do that.
Yeah. That says a lot about you too, you know? Yeah.
Also, if people aren't great to me, that's also fine too. Like, I don't treat people based on, you know, how they treat me. I treat people based on who I am as a person.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. I like that. That was sweet. Okay. All right.
And I haven't cried once.
You were close though. I saw your eyes watering.
Don't, because then I will. Don't talk about it.
All right. I want to say another one of my favorite things about you, and it is, I'm not looking at that actually. And it is, I think one of my favorite things about you is your willingness to learn and grow. I think it's all too easy to just be where we're at.
Yeah.
And stay there, you know? And just be like, this is how it is. This is how it's always going to be. But like, you know, one of my things in life is to never stop growing, to never stop learning, to never stop being open to change. And, you know, I see that in you as well. And that's, I think, probably why it's one of my favorite things, because I have a partner now who's not afraid to change and grow and challenge themselves. And I think you have such a capacity for that. You're always willing to like hear other people out and like experience things from their point of view. And I think it's so cool. Yeah.
that makes me really happy to hear. And I love that you see that on your end, because I feel like that's something that I've had to work towards. Like, I've definitely not always been that way, and definitely a creature of comfort and habit. So definitely worked hard to get this way and get to this place.
But they say nothing grows in your comfort zone. So
I didn't know that they said that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Look it up.
My last one of my top three, my third favorite thing about you, and you already touched on this earlier, but it's your sense of humor. Duh.
I told you guys, I'm so fucking funny.
No, so this is so important because, like, and kind of touching, I guess, on one of your favorite things about me, like, I love to laugh. And, like, I think I have a great sense of humor, and I know that I'm, like, fun and funny, and you match that so well,
Yep.
And I wasn't going to say it here because I don't want to say that you're, like, the funniest person.
Let the world know. Let the world know. All you besties out there, you hear this? Say it.
We just have so much fun with each other because of the fact that, like, we make each other laugh so much. And that's all that really matters. Like, as long as you find me hilarious and I find you hilarious, then we're always going to have fun and be laughing together because we get it.
That part.
And that's all that really matters. Is, like, as long as we get it and we see it, we're hilarious. Yeah, I do. I love that.
All right. Okay. Well, let me get to my last favorite thing. It's not my last favorite thing, but my third favorite thing that I wrote for this specific exercise.
Yeah.
I feel like I saved what was the best for last. And I'm going to sound like I'm parroting you, but, like, I put your big heart is one of my favorite things.
Aww.
I think that you show up in the world in such an amazing way. I think the people who know you are so lucky to know you. I always tell her all the time, like, she does such an amazing job of, like, making time for her friends and family. I don't know anyone who has as many friends from their childhood that she does. And I don't just mean, like, I know people from my childhood that I still know, but, like, she still hangs out with these people, and I think it's so cool because like, you have these lifelong friendships that you've really nurtured, and just the way that you show up for these people, the way you're willing to, like, sometimes put your own needs or mental health away to, like, be there and show up for the people around you. People are constantly banging her line, like, oh, I'm going through this. I'm having this issue. What do you think about this? And she's always going to answer the phone.
Like, literally today, somebody was like, hey, I'm in crisis. I need my community. Ugh.
Yeah. And
Here I go.
what she's going to do, she's going to show up.
Yeah.
And because I love her, I'm going to show up and make that a little bit easier for her. But yeah, she has such a big heart, and she always wants to be there and show for people. And it's a beautiful thing.
Thanks, baby.
I really love that about you. And I would kiss you right now, but I hate kissing you with lipstick on.
Yeah, that's also an ick of mine.
That's a huge ick of hers. But my ick is that she wants to kiss me with lipstick on.
She withholds affection from me.
That's not true.
Whenever I have my makeup
I'll kiss her on the cheek. But yeah, I thought that was really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as we did. I think it's just nice to kind of share a little bit about who we are, a little bit about how we view each other, because I'm sure you'll hear plenty of how we view ourselves the more we talk.
It just gives some good insight too to, like, our dynamic, how we are with one another, how we love each other. So yeah,
I agree.
But that was our pilot. Who are we? This is who we are. So hopefully you guys really enjoyed it, because we've got more to come, more conversations to come, and guests that we're not going to tell you about right now, but we've got some coming. So stay tuned. Our first episode drops on February 28th. The 28th, the last day of the month of February. What day does the episode drop?
February 28th.
Got it. Okay, I wasn't sure. So just make sure that you follow us on all of our socials. Leave us some feedback. Any suggestions on what you want us to talk about, what you don't want us to talk about. And if you just don't want to see us anymore, keep that to yourself.
We don't want to hear that.
Keep that to yourself.
I don't give a goddamn.
Tell us more about how much you want to see us and how much you want to listen to us talk about ourselves and each other.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Link to all of our socials. Our YouTube is going to be in the description for this episode. So check all of those out. Whatever your vice is, we're going to be there.
Looking forward to hearing from you and looking forward to seeing you again next time. I'm Vivian.
Jasmine.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.